Good morning, everyone. Very warm welcome to you in Avaya Experience in APAC. So I think in the previous events, last year, the year before, we have all been talking about digital transformation. We have all been trying to encourage customers to accept the change that's happening in the market. This year, I decided that I'm going to take you and have a short discussion with you about real experiences that we had in the last year or 2 years with our customers, challenges, how did we help them, how did we fix the problems, how did we find opportunities on these challenges, and how did we address them. As a CTO or a CIO or a digital transformation officer, working into a very vast changing environment, there are a lot of challenges that come on your table. I think if anyone here, I would ask them as a partner or a customer or a vendor to list down the list of challenges. We might all have different lists, different perspective, but there will be some key points that we all agree on. So I picked some of them today, and I'm going to take you through them. And I will tell you what are we doing as Avaya, what are we going to do in the next few months to address them. And hopefully this will also give you some insight and give you some confidence in what we are doing to work with us. So there is always a challenge of, I have built my business in the last previous years on many technologies. These technologies has become very incubated and incumbent in my business, a lot of dependencies. My business is running, I won't say to the optimum that I expect, but it is running quite well. So what should I do on top of what I have today? Do I have to change? Do I have to keep? We will discuss today. We will tell you how can we decide. Anything you do has to be driven by the need to change. Are you changing to improve? Like I'm innovating to make my employees more productive? Or am I just changing for sake of change because I need to keep up with the change? Or it is a disruptive in the market driven by competition. So anytime you think about change, you review your business processes, there has always been inquiries from the customer, why am I doing this? What is going to be the benefit? And then, how big should I go? Should I test? Should I try first, fail quickly? How can I measure my failure or success? And how much should I invest? So there is a big economy of scaling. The other point is flexibility. Will technology providers be flexible enough to let me try and then, as given before, have multiple options to deploy when I make a decision? How can I define the relation? Is it going to be a transaction, I'm going to buy something from them, or is it going to be, as Nadal explained, a partnership? And how flexible they're going to be? Are they going to work with me until I reach a successful end state, or it's just going to be a very transactional relation? And we will talk about business models, and my colleague coming later will talk more about business model. But when we address these challenges, I'm not going to address it in generic. I'm going to address it where Avaya really excel. We master the science of customer experience. We have done it on voice. We are doing it on digital. We have done it on any channel you can imagine. So for us, we know how customer experience can be defined. Actually, we placed some definitions for customer experience in the market that many others are trying to even build on top of it. So when you excel in something that really impacts the business, as Nadal explained, everything is around experiences. And when Jim said our main focus is to be led by customers, you cannot go anymore to the customers and tell them, these are the products, these are the features that I have. Let me find out how can you change your business process, or let me find out how can you build new business process to match my technology strategy. That's past. We don't do that anymore. The way we run our decisions on R&D, the way we run our decisions on acquisitions, products, everything is by motions. Motions from customers, motions from partners, motions from competitions, the motion of what is going on in the market and where will this fit in the CX. We don't rush in. We don't do things that we don't think that's not what we call it in Avaya, workable innovation. Everyone can talk about everything that's new and nice. Is it going to work for you? Let's find out. So most of the digital transformation, I would say, journeys we had in the last 1 or 2 years with our customers Some of them completed, some of them partially completed, some of them just starting. Always the customer, when they talk about CX, customer experience, they talk about 4 or 5 main topics. That's where they are mainly concerned how the transformation will impact. The first one is the desktop, which we at Avaya also call it the UX. We usually talk a lot about the user experience of our customers. So if I'm going to provide new channels, mobility, desktop, emails, whatever you name it, how my customer experience is going to be. And we don't do the same due diligence how internally my employees' experience are going to be. It's a push more than pull. We try to add new capabilities, but we don't really ask the internal employees or the experts who are actually have been driving the business in the organization to be part, to pull in what they feel that they are capable. So onboarding people using the UX is now a process more than just selling a new desktop. The other part, which is very important and we all talk about, is analytics, which more, I would say, definitive if we say insights. If you think about the information you have about your customers, you have a lot of information about them, but most of it is transactional. You know their name, their address, maybe you save some of their credit card numbers, the best mobile number to contact them on, the best office number, what are the products they like to buy or sell from your services. But is this really enough for you to know your customers? Is this really the meaningful data and information that Nidal talked about? I really doubt that. If you look at one of the solutions we present outside, the Avaya Conversation Intelligence solutions, you will be surprised at how come from a single voice call, you can extract a lot of analytics that can help you study the behaviors of your customers. You can study which channel they decide to contact you if they are in the mood of discovering buying a new service. Which channel they usually reach to when they want to escalate. So there is a behavior analytics for your customers, and also there is a behavior analytics for your employees. So when you talk about the UX also part of the insights, because this is how you learn how your employees work. What are the trends? How do they navigate through the channels? Are they all the same? This kind of things used to be manual. So Insight today is giving us more than just reporting. Channels, I think we have endless options of channels. Everyone, every region, every country have their trend. Customers are the one defining the channels, not us. So if you want to keep up with the channels strategy in any market, the only best thing you can do is create the right platform framework of APIs, SDKs, whatever we call it, and let this kind of integration and programming skills happen in the field. And that's why you see we are doing demos with things like Line, WeChat, other regions, we have WhatsApp, and more and more and more. This is not a strategy that we drive, it's a strategy that the market drives. So when the customers start picking the channels, the challenge was not only picking which channel should I start with, is it the right channel, is it voice? Maybe it is still voice. Maybe voice is not optimized to the maximum that it can be. And that's a very clear question that comes up with many customers after thinking about digital that, okay, after moving to a couple of new digital channels, actually I found out that voice was not really optimized. And shift. There is always a shift somewhere. You can shift to a cloud. You can shift to a new operation like managed services. You can shift to a new technology. But there is always a shift and change. And when change happens, people always need help. Need help to give them confidence, to work with them, because they always want to minimize the impact to their business. So let's take the first one, reinterpreting the current applications. When we work with the customers and they start talking about, today, let's say, you start as a voice-focused channel customer. What we saw that even voice on its own, there is a lot of things that can be done to modernize and innovate on top of what you have. So the interpretation of a voice channel is really changing. First of all, it became one of the primary channels, let's say that can help you learn more and know your customers. You can analyze the way customers talk to your agents, what kind of questions they raise, what kind of products they are, I would say, interested in. So this voice conversation between the customer and your agents or your back office experts, it really tells you a lot of, about your customers. So we started as Avaya thinking that, okay, maybe the discussion have started about what kind of new digital channels we can add. We start introducing digital channels to customers. But then we found out that actually there is even more optimization on voice that can be done. Things like biometrics, real-time speech analytics, conversational intelligence solutions, all these kind of things can add value to voice. Also, preparing voice as an assisted channel to all the digital channels is becoming a key trend. All the customers at the beginning, they thought that they can go pure digital, which was a good trend, but then they came back saying that when the customer is really in, let's say, facing a trouble or problem and they need the proper help from an agent or the organization, they want to fall back from a digital channel to a voice conversation. So which means that it doesn't matter which digital channels we have been deploying and implementing with our customers, they always feel safe as the voice channel exists to assist the digital channel. When we talk about modernizing these channels, or the voice channel, we talk about moving the voice channel to different applications. We all talk about WebRTC, moving to mobile apps, moving to website, voice in app. So even moving the voice channel and giving the customer capabilities to embed voice into different applications was for some customer an enhancement and modernization. And as we look into the data from all these interactions, we understand that there is a lot of things we learned. We were working with some customers, they want to understand what is their fail rate? How can they determine how many calls are being transferred? Usually when you set KPIs, you program the system and you take the KPIs and you monitor the system and the performance of your agents and customers, and you decide that, okay, I'm not meeting my KPI, what should I do next to improve my KPIs? But what if the KPIs can be fed into the system with the right machine learning and AI engine, and this machine learning is doing the optimization and the operation control to make sure that the performance of the agent is always within the KPIs that you expect, so you don't discover that later. We will show you some demos around that. And so on, migration, and most important, people. Are your teams people onboarded for the change? Are they ready? Do they feel that they are part of the innovation? This is something key. So what do we do today? So we have an install base. We have customers who are on Elite. We have customers that have AACC. We have customers that already moved to Oceania. And to be able to address all the challenges we talked about with the CTOs or CIOs, there are a set of technologies from Avaya that we had, or actually we have today, and some of them are even coming in the next year. So addressing the UX, addressing the desktop, addressing analytics are key. But we are not actually only addressing this from giving you a product or a solution. It's also addressed by we are letting you and helping you as a partner how you're going to use it, how you're going to make the max out of it. So when we talk about the desktop, and you're going to see also a demo outside, you have unified the desktop among all of our products. So that if you are today a customer who are using Elite or ACC or Oceania, you will have the same desktop experience. You will have the same value of widgets. So an Elite customer can modernize their desktop. They can add a new CX dashboard, which is our solution to unify reporting among multiple platforms. It will help you to move from the standard routing engines to more business-driven routing engines, attribute-based routing, and so on. New voice channels integrating with third-party voice channels, and as we move toward 2020, more capabilities will be available. So yes, we can start with a digital channel discussion, but what we are really doing in the field, and what we really saw in the last 1 year, that a lot of our customers, their current voice channel and their current voice-based customer experience solution are not even optimized to the maximum. And that's why we still build on what they have. An ACC customer will get the same desktop experience, same analytics and reporting tool, same self-services experience. WebRTC, as the upcoming release, will have video on ACC. We will have the chatbot integration through the chatbot framework. And when we say chatbot here, we mean Avaya or non-Avaya chatbot. As was explained by Chris before, we are better as Avaya when we master the integration of such technology into our platforms. So either you work with Avaya or third-party AI solution, we will be able to create the proper integration, the proper use case to make sure that AI has a clear role and well embedded into your CX strategy. This is something that we really excel in. Why this is important? Because when you think about all the effort you put in training your agents over years and even sometimes months and making them ready to represent your brand in front of customers, you don't underestimate that you need the same effort when you train a machine to make it ready to become a representative for your CX. You need to train, you need to evaluate, you need to monitor. So even as an ACC customers and other platforms, they will have the opportunity to add this capability, protecting the base and without even thinking about changing or putting a big investment into the core. Of course, migrating more to business analysts, improving the outbound capabilities, and many other features and capabilities that customers has been asking for. Oceana. So as a platform for pure CX that we have built with a rich context, rich customer journey, we bring a lot of components as we move on. The shift with Oceana mainly is to move you from the standard, I would say, skill set-based routing into attribute-based routing, adding digital channels. They are all blended together, embedding in capabilities like AI, embedding in capabilities like IoT integration, very rich platform in APIs and SDKs. So it's really, think about it, that it's built for you to define your CX strategy. So when you building your strategy on such a platform, you don't have to worry about every single feature that comes out of the platform. You worry about the platform capability. If I'm a partner and I have my in-house developers working with customers to provide them the capabilities that they want, or even sometimes customers who have the right in-house developers and skills that they can actually play on the platforms and create the experience and define the experience that they want for their customers. So as you can see, most of the roadmap for 2019 and 2020 is focused on adding capabilities and integration into the new channels and new features. So that's why when you think about your business processes, you have to think about first how you're going to improve your customer experience, and then you bring the technology in. One important thing, just a summary for all of this, as you can see, there will be more common components among all the platforms. Why this is important? This is important because as we invest in our R&D, as we invest in our solutions and products, we try to make sure that we don't replicate. Sure, if you have multiple solutions that meet multiple customer requirements, they are already incumbent in their business, it's very difficult to extract it, and you want to give them innovation, you face a challenge. Shall I keep innovating on every single platform? Or shall I give my customer the new things that they want? And that's what we have decided. We have unified all the modernization aspects, and we are providing it no matter the Avaya platform that you have today. So we talk about back office, front office, UC, CC. Where is this story coming from? So you need to understand that when you want to really personalize your customer experience, yes, most of the time, 70% of the time, the customers can be talking to your customer contact center agents. But in reality, most of the work related to your customers, the people who are really fixing their problems or working with your customers to address their needs, they might be in the back office. They might be an expert sitting in a branch. They might be in a remote office. So we found out that if you really, when we start working with our customer, if you really want to personalize the experience, one of the most important things is to try to find the right person to interact with your customer. And to try to find the right person doesn't mean always that this is a contact center agent. So the platform is being unified so that you can make a decision when you build your business strategy to make sure that you can bring the right person in front of your customer, no matter which interface or solution they're using. They can be a UC user sitting on their mobile, sitting in the branch, sitting in, even a mobility user on the road, or it can be actually someone in the office. So as you can see, the different desktop experience and interfaces outside, you will see that as a user, you have the flexibility to log in today as a contact center agent who is speaking a call, or log in as a back office experts, and based on your profile, the system will start sending to you the right interactions, single reporting tool for both, single interface, single interactions. And as my colleague today will give you some demos and some explanations, you will see how flexibility or how flexible this is for you. So one important part that we move to as we move toward all this digital transformation discussion is the economy of scale. The main topic for many people, they will think that this is more like a scale up, scale down. I can extend my capacity the way I want. And many of others, I would say marketing, messaging and statement we see, especially from the native cloud players. But it's more than just scaling up and down. When you increase the traffic in your contact center, think about it like that. Or you decide to add new channels to serve your customer. These are all workloads. It's not about deciding to jump up in the capacity or just go down to save cost. There are a lot of things that you have to put in aspect. And that's why when we work with the customers, we try to make sure that we address this. How you're going to monitor, how you're going to reconfigure, how you're going to notify the people that there is change in traffic. So it's not really, let me just wrap up another server and take 5,000 calls and pay for them and then go down. So it's going to be a bit different for that. So we found that many customers, they underestimated the scaling discussion, and they were maybe so keen about talking about, I need a platform that can scale to 4,000 or 5,000 agents. This is just a very small part of the discussion. When you talk about scalability, there is more into it. So options of deployment and flexibility. In the past, we used to maybe drive a couple of, I would say, options, but now we have taken this out of the equation. We have focused that with all the changes that's happening in the market, we have to keep up with the new technology available, private cloud, hybrid cloud, public cloud. Whatever the decision that the customers are making, we can no longer push to the customers our strategy. We have to be flexible. You talk to the customers today, yes, if you are an only public cloud provider, you will definitely build a story and tell the customer how great to go on your own cloud. But if you have options like Avaya, you will always be flexible to work with your customers to decide. You want public on Avaya, we can provide you. You want on-premise, you want private, off-site, or you want hybrid. And that's what we have learned and what we have been doing. So we have taken this complexity out. We support all the major infrastructures if the customer wants to take control. If the customer doesn't want to take control and shifting toward their own cloud strategy, we have certified our core solutions, our Aura, our CC products and solutions to work also on the most common public cloud providers. Either you want to deploy it for a private management or you want to deploy it to be publicly managed by Avaya. The option is really yours. Even if you want to start with something, change to something else, it's very flexible. And this tells you one very important thing, that there is alignment. And this is something that many others doesn't really talk about. Alignment means that when you are led by customers and you try to build a technology to really help your customers build the right CX strategy, you don't try to push your own strategy to them and keep trying to tell them that you know better than them and this is what they have to do and this is the best proven way. But actually you think a little bit different. You think in a way that if I can take from the customer the headache of making multiple choices and decisions and the flexibility of making a move even from one platform to another, then you are really a partner. Let's be honest, there is a lot of I would say noise around the clouds. Customers are still testing. A couple of customers have decided to make a strategy with AWS. Then they decided to move to Azure. Actually, some of them decided to stay with both, keeping databases somewhere, keeping applications somewhere else. What does this mean for us? It means that we are not really the one who can push the customer toward our one single story. And that's why this requires a lot of alignment and work. We have to be flexible as the customer also learn and move and make a decision to change, so that that's more benefit for their business and CX decision and strategy, that we have to be more responsive. We have to be more adaptive to their requirements. So I hope I have shared some quick, I would say, overview of what we are doing and how we are helping our customers and partners to work together through their DX transformation. I thank you very much for your time, and please enjoy your break and food is served outside. Thank you very much.